Tonight, spared the worst of the roar. 2025, nevertheless, still going out like a lion, an icy one.
It's very slippery, and we are already late to work.
Freezing rain made driving and walking tricky, though conditions improved throughout the day. But more winter weather to come before year's end. A tough holiday travel day as some flights and trains were canceled.
We're planning to fly to Los Angeles for the break, and both our flights have been delayed.
The Senators' opponents for tonight also caught up in a travel nightmare, though mechanical issues, not weather, the reason for a delayed start at the CTC this evening. And celebrating 25 years.
The finals are played in the Ottawa Senators Arena, and we want to bring our team, our organization, to that arena for more people to see us.
It's a big week for minor hockey players in Ottawa as the Bell Capital Cup marks a milestone. Good evening. We begin tonight with the messy mix of weather continuing to impact the city. Strong winds, the immediate challenge with the Ottawa area under a special weather statement. And the ice, snow and wind that has been a nuisance to navigate on the roads will not be the last of the bad weather as we close out 2025. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us for more on this. Kimberly.
Patricia, the capital region has managed to dodge the worst of the storm, but with strong winds possible into tonight and dropping temperatures mixed with blowing snow could make the next couple days challenging.
Ottawa waking up to a layer of ice after overnight freezing rain.
It's so bad.
Several hours of freezing rain brought early morning icy conditions on vehicles, residential roads, and sidewalks in the nation's capital.
They're a little slippery. We've got our cleats on, which helps a bit, but even the dog's been slipping and sliding.
Karen Braun grabbing her gear to walk her dog.
It's like our street is a little deadly, but then once you get onto kind of the main arteries, it's a little better.
Environment Canada says in total, Ottawa received nearly 18 millimeters of freezing rain and rain. The freezing rain orange warning was lifted late Monday morning as the temperatures moved above freezing.
So I thought it would be worse. In here in the parking lot, it's a little icy. So you just got to be careful, that's all. You just walk a little bit, baby steps, as they would say. But other than that, you're fine.
Still, Environment Canada says the messy weather isn't done yet. Ottawa is still under a special weather statement. Strong winds up to 70 kilometers per hour are forecasted and consistently cold temperatures tonight. Environment Canada warns that ice buildup and high winds could pose a challenge.
It doesn't take very, very strong winds to cause power outages because there's still ice frozen on power lines right now. So we need to be careful and prepare for the possibility of power outages.
The city says crews are out in full force, working to keep on top of the roads and sidewalks.
Any salt that we're putting out, any scraping we're doing with our plows is very effective. Helps us get everything cleaned up in preparation for that freeze. So, but we will still have to deal with any standing water out there on sidewalks or roads that does freeze.
Some residents picking up more salt as winter weather continues.
This morning I was surprised because I thought I had some.
There is no parking ban in effect overnight, but the city says that if you do see any downed trees or anything hazardous because of those high winds, to contact 311 if it's not an emergency. Patricia?
Getting too cold for freezing rain. I guess that's the good news in this forecast that we'll be sharing in a little bit. CTV's Kimberly Johnson live for us tonight. Thank you. And CTV Ottawa does have extended coverage of the aftermath of last night's freezing rainstorm. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And as the freezing rain blanketed the city, the wicked winter weather also affecting travel on planes, trains, and automobiles heading into and out of the city today. CTV's Camille Wilson spoke with passengers stranded because of the weather. It was a tough one today, Camille.
Patricia, with the holidays already stressful enough, this is the busiest time of year for travel as thousands are coming and going to be with their loved ones. But we can all agree everyone's worst travel nightmare, a cancellation or delay to their plans.
Well, it was delayed for a day.
Gordon Kilpinen is on his way to Russia, but he spent Sunday night at the Ottawa airport after his flight was canceled.
I'm heading now through to Paris through France, Air France, and then from Air France to Istanbul. I'm taking Turkish Airlines, and then Turkish Airlines to Moscow, and I'll arrive hopefully at 12:45 on the 31st.
The freezing rain altering his travel plans. He's now hoping to make it there by New Year's to be with his family. The winter weather disrupting travel in and out of the nation's capital, with about a dozen flights canceled Sunday and 12 more flights on Monday at the Ottawa airport.
We're planning to fly to Los Angeles for the break, and both our flights have been delayed.
The airport encourages anyone who is scheduled to fly to check their flight status with their carrier to ensure that they have the most up-to-date information before heading to the airport.
They told me the flight is delayed, and now I'm still waiting. And according to the recent information, the departure time is rescheduled to 1:35 a.m.
Dora Mao is heading to China, but flight delays have altered her plans.
I have to fly from Ottawa to Toronto, Toronto to Vancouver, Vancouver to Korea, Korea to China. I take 3-year-old daughter. I think this is very not convenient.
And from the air to the tracks, Via Rail is also warning customers to expect delays and cancellations due to the weather. Despite the delays, travelers remaining hopeful.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The weather looks like it's lifting, and I don't see any other cancellations.
Everyone is strongly encouraged to check the status of their flight, train, or bus well ahead of your scheduled departure time. Both the Ottawa Airport and Via Rail say they are doing their best to get everything on track and up to speed. Patricia.
A couple of travel nightmares in there, though.
Absolutely.
For sure. CTV's Camille Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, we want to take a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam right now. So the temperature did warm up through the day. We got to the 0 mark and just above, now slipping back down below 0. It is -1 out there as we take a look at your forecast and what you can anticipate over the next little bit. Flurries in Ottawa. That will continue into tomorrow with that special weather statement, meaning it is going to be windy and those flurries could be blowing around. It could affect your visibility. Wednesday looks better with a mix of sun and cloud. Taking a look at the next 24 hours, it is going to get cold overnight and you're going to wake up to those cold temperatures tomorrow. Of course, the wind making it feel colder than what it is. So -6. Wind gusting to 50 kilometers an hour tonight. -14 is what you'll wake up to. That 40% chance of flurries through the day tomorrow. -10 is about as warm as we will get tomorrow. Again, right now in the capital, just below the freezing mark, -1, but there is a wind. It feels more like -9. We did get up to 1 degree earlier this afternoon.
Still ahead, bigger budget, new system, new year. Ottawa's police chief reflecting on the challenges of 2025 and looking ahead to priorities in 2026. That's coming up.
Well, it is day 2 of the Bell Capital Cup with hundreds of youth hockey players taking to the ice today, highlighting the schedule. Teams from across the world coming to Ottawa to compete from the United States, Europe, and right across Asia. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us with more on the journeys some of these teams have taken to be here. Dylan.
Patricia, teams from Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Japan were just some of the international teams to take to the ice today in the Bell Capital Cup. And while Canadians consider hockey to be our game, these teams come here with the expectation to compete and win. 11-year-old Henry Jung comes by his hockey talent honestly.
So I started because I live very near to the ice rink, and I first started ice skating, and then my mom signed me up for ice hockey, and then I was pretty good.
Good enough to lead his Greater Bay Lions team from Hong Kong onto the ice at the Bell Capital Cup.
It's so fun. There's great opportunities, and you can make new friends, and the hockey festival and trading pins. It's so fun.
Hockey isn't very popular in Hong Kong, but still, they wanted to be one of 284 teams competing in this year's tournament.
It's got a good reputation across, not just in Canada and Ottawa, but all around the world. Teams come to this tournament, and they go back home, and they tell their friends, and their friends tell friends.
This is very good to see this kind of hockey festival and so many teams and so many players and the parents are coming together and they enjoy the game. This is amazing, and we want to do the same thing in Korea in the future.
With the sport gaining traction in South Korea, this team has been coming to the Bell Capital Cup for 10 years now, starting in House League and climbing to the AA division.
Well, we are better than USA and Canada.
It's not as difficult as I would expect it, but of course there are good teams here, and we're not the best team in the world, but we try to improve every year and continue to participate and continue to move up to the different division.
The title of Canada's game up for grabs.
Obviously, they don't have as many players playing hockey in their country, but they still get the top players of their age group making up a lot of these teams.
We have players from all over Kazakhstan, 5 different cities, 7 different clubs.
Because here, winning is a universal language.
We're the champion.
Again, organizers say a total of 284 teams are competing in this year's Bell Capital Cup. Roughly 200 from Canada, 50 from the United States, and the rest, well, from every corner of the globe. Patricia.
Very cool, and a very busy holiday for a lot of hockey families out there for sure. CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the 25th annual Bell Capital Cup. Again, just scan the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Well, the Ottawa Senators have pushed back the start of their final home game of 2025 because their opponents have had some travel trouble. We have video now of the Columbus Blue Jackets. They posted this to social media of them getting on the plane and finally getting off in the capital, which happened just before 4 p.m. They're supposed to come in the day before. Reports say the Blue Jackets' flight to Ottawa was delayed because of mechanical trouble. Yesterday, the team was initially supposed to fly out in the afternoon, push the flight to the morning, and then to the early afternoon today. The Sens and Blue Jackets were originally scheduled to face off at the CTC at 7. The team now says puck drop will be at 7:30. And Levi Marilainen will get the start tonight after the Sens made a goaltending announcement following their loss to the Leafs on Saturday. General Manager Steve Staios posting to social media yesterday, goaltender Linus Ullmark will be taking a leave of absence for personal reasons. The post reads in part, Linus has the full support of our organization during this time. Out of respect to Linus, we will not be making any further comments. The 32-year-old was pulled from Saturday night's game against the Leafs. The Swedish goaltender has started 28 games for the Sens this season and has one shutout in 14 wins. Well, Team Canada is looking to build on their strong start in the World Juniors.
Pass it back to Leonard McKenna. Looks back across. He scored!
The Canucks are sitting at 2-0 after this overtime win against Latvia on Saturday. That win avenged a shootout loss to Latvia in last year's tournament. Puck drop for tonight's game against Denmark, set for 8:30. You can catch the action on TSN and on TSN 1200. A teacher in Brockville is facing charges in connection with a sexual assault investigation with allegations dating back more than a decade. Police say the alleged incidents involved a male student and took place between 2008 and 2011. 49-year-old Elizabeth Doncaster is charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, invitation to sexual touching, and sexual exploitation. A court date has been set for the new year. The Upper Canada District School Board would not comment directly on the incident, but released a statement that reads in part, when the UCDSB is made aware of allegations such as these, we immediately take appropriate precautions and remove the employee from the school and from working with students. Student safety is always our top priority. Ottawa police have made an arrest in relation to a hit and run that left a pedestrian with serious injuries earlier this month. The collision happened the morning of December 18th, just before 10 o'clock near MacArthur and LaFontaine Avenues. A 33-year-old Ottawa man has been charged with failing to remain at the scene of a collision, resulting in bodily harm, as well as not having a valid driver's license. As the investigation is ongoing, investigators are asking anyone who witnessed the collision or who may have dash cam or security footage to contact Ottawa police. Ontario Provincial Police are reminding drivers of the dangers of removing your airbags after a driver involved in a crash on the 417 made an unconventional change to their steering wheel. Emergency crews responded to a single vehicle crash on the Queensway near the Vanier Parkway just after 6 o'clock this morning. OPP posting these photos to social media showing a damaged wooden steering wheel in the vehicle. Police said the driver removed the airbag-equipped steering wheel, replaced it with an aftermarket wheel. Police say while it is illegal to remove your airbags from your vehicle, the driver was not charged. Transit riders in Ottawa and Gatineau are facing a fare bump starting New Year's Day. OC Transpo fares will increase an average of 2.5% as of January 1st. The cost of a monthly adult transit pass will go up to $138.50, and a single adult cash fare will increase to $4.15. The Equipass and community monthly passes will remain the same as 2025 rates. And as of the 1st, the cost of an adult monthly transit pass with Gatineau's STO will go up to $116.50, and a cash fare for the STO will increase to $4.75 in 2026. Amid concerns over a fragile ceasefire in Gaza, the U.S. president this afternoon held a high-stakes meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It took place at Mar-a-Lago in Florida and comes as a group of Canadian activists called for sanctions after they were denied entry into the West Bank 2 weeks ago, along with half a dozen MPs. CTV's John Venevali-Rao has the latest.
Far from Donald Trump's meeting in Florida, in Gaza today, displaced Palestinians trying to survive a harsh winter offered mixed opinions about whether the meeting might amount to much. This man saying everyone's exhausted, cold, and urging the U.S. president to get his peace deal moving on to the next stage and eventually reconstruction.
Gaza's a tough place.
Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking with reporters, saying Gaza was among 5 major subjects to be discussed. Trump said he hoped to move to phase 2 of the ceasefire plan quickly, but adding Hamas must disarm. He also suggested the U.S. would consider further military action against Iran if the country tries to rebuild its nuclear program.
Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them, but hopefully that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal.
Meanwhile, in Ottawa, a group of activists held a press conference after they were stopped by Israel at this border crossing 2 weeks ago, trying to enter the occupied West Bank from Jordan. Along with 6 MPs, the group, sponsored by the nonprofit the Canadian Muslim Vote, planned to observe conditions there, but was denied entry for what the Israeli Defense Ministry said were security reasons.
This denial of access is not an isolated incident. It is a small sample of the systematic control and intimidation that Palestinians face every single day under occupation.
The group noting that Israel's security cabinet recently approved the recognition of 19 new settlements in the West Bank, which Canada considers illegal under international law, and calling for sanctions on items that come from them.
Any settlement product that's developed and sold should be barred from Canada.
As for whether that Canadian delegation will try to go back to the West Bank, today they said they'd like to, but aren't sure what will happen next. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
As we head into the new year, a new poll shows the federal Liberals and Conservatives in a dead heat for voter support. According to the Liaison Tracking Survey of 1,000 Canadians, the Liberals gained 1% support, up to 39%. The Conservatives are down 1% to 37%. Despite the 2-point gap, the margin of error is just over 3%, which means the two parties are in a statistical tie. The federal NDP dropped 1 point to 11%. Prime Minister Mark Carney's approval rating was 56%.
Today they've become more, how should I say that, more technical about things.
Going green at the curb. We've been doing it for a while. Coming up, the city marks over 15 years of the Green Bin program in Ottawa. We want to take another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Milder than what we will see over the next couple of days. Right now, just below the freezing mark. It's -1 out there right now. We'll be back with your full forecast in a moment.
Today's snow report brought to you by Centre Vorlage. Rediscover the new Vorlage.
And here is today's snow report. It was not ideal conditions for sure, but there is some new snow out there at Vorlage, about 5 centimeters worth. 4 lifts all operational, 4 runs available as well. Taking a look elsewhere, Camp Fortune had a delayed start to the day, but did get their camp programs up and running. 4 lifts, 8 runs available. At Edelweiss, 2 of 5 lifts and 8 runs operational. Mont Cascade, 4 of 6 and 10 runs. Calabogie Peaks, the weather was a little more severe, closed for
the day.
Your winter starts at Voilage. Perfect for families, beginners, and advanced skiers. With our trusted snow school and ideal learning terrain, come rediscover the new Voilage.
Well, this month marks 16 years since green bins first appeared at the end of Ottawa's driveways. Not everyone picked up on the idea at first, but as CTV's Leah Larocque reports, while pressure builds on the landfill, more residents are going green.
It's garbage day. And Steve Brunet can't remember a time when he didn't bring the green bin to the curb.
No, it seems like it's pretty well been forever.
The Organic Waste Weekly Collection Service marking 15 years since it was first introduced in the city.
The Wilsons decided to try out Ottawa's new green bin program.
The program diverts organic waste from landfills and produces valuable compost.
We see the benefits of it, and we agree and support it.
But many turned their nose up at the program at first.
Reluctant, still reluctant. For the little bit of stuff that we have that goes in it, it's a chore to get it out every time.
A big change in 2019 allowed plastic bags and dog waste to go in here.
That's organic material. If processed appropriately, it can be safely reused.
So they can put their food waste into the plastic bag to kind of reduce that ick factor. And we actually saw an 8% increase in participation from when that policy was first introduced to a year later. So it certainly helped people to participate.
And in 2024, the program expanded to multi-residential buildings. So where does everything that you put in your green bin eventually end up? It goes to a specialized facility where things are shredded, mixed, and composted in aerated tunnels. In 2024, the city collected nearly 88,000 tons, compared to about 55,000 tons in 2012, the earliest data provided. The city still hasn't convinced all residents. Annie Garneau uses her green bin to store hockey sticks.
Again, I would rather a solution that is local to your house, right? Like helping people composting.
But down the street, Jasmine Lafreniere says every bit that goes in here helps.
Like tissues, waste like food.
And the program is nothing to dump on.
I think it's a good idea if you're using it effectively and using it appropriately.
Leah Larocque, CTV News.
Well, freezing rain, blowing snow, ice pellets and strong winds, not just an issue right here in Ottawa. In fact, much of eastern Canada is under some type of weather watch or warning. Environment Canada says Ontarians should expect everything from the freezing rain here in Ottawa and eastern Ontario to heavy snow along Lake Superior. People in Quebec can expect similar conditions, with forecasts predicting as much as 25 centimeters of snow in some areas north of Montreal. As we take a closer look at what is going through our area right now. So we saw that rain, the freezing rain through the day. It warmed up to above zero about mid-morning. The freezing rain warning was lifted and it turned into regular rain. Now it's flurries and the potential for those flurries tonight and tomorrow to create some visibility issues because there is a special weather statement for high winds here in Ottawa. As we take a look at other parts of our region, fairly mild out east. They are not getting the worst of the weather there. Temperatures similar to what we saw by afternoon today in the eastern part of the country. As we move into our province, -4 in Toronto and -4 down in Windsor. Now, we know Toronto has had a really tough time, and a lot of the cancellations when it comes to flights have been because of the snow squall conditions in Toronto. Into Winnipeg, -19, so cold there. Some of the colder temperatures that we will see coming our way. Regina, -6. +7 with a mix of sun and cloud in Calgary. Vancouver seeing 6 degrees today. As we take a look at our overnight lows, so we are going way down from where we were on the plus side earlier today, plunging into the mid-teens for the most part. A lot of -14s on the board. A little colder in Bancroft and in Pembroke, and just slightly warmer along the Seaway overnight. -13 in Maniwaki and at Mont-Tremblant, -10 in Montreal. Gatineau will see -16 tonight. Kemptville -14, -16 in Petawawa. As we take a look at your highs for tomorrow, so not getting terribly warm tomorrow, certainly -10 here in Ottawa. It will be overcast. There's a good chance of some flurries through the day tomorrow. And again, winds will continue to be an issue tomorrow as well. -8 in Kingston, -8 in Trenton tomorrow. A little colder to the north in Maniwaki at -13. Similar for Mont-Tremblant. Petawawa will see -11 tomorrow. And Gatineau's daytime high at -9 is about the warmest that we are seeing in the area. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center, celebrating over 80 years in family business. So here's how things look. Cold for the next few days to end 2025 and start 2026. -10 with that chance of flurries tomorrow. -11 with a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. Into the new year, you'll see -13 with a mix of sun and cloud, but plunging way down into -22 territory overnight. Some sunshine on Friday to end your week, and the weekend cold and cloudy for the most part. Well, from demonstrations to major events, a budget debate and patrolling core neighborhoods where residents just don't feel safe, it has been very challenging this year for Ottawa's police service. And we recently had a chance to sit down with Ottawa's chief, Eric Stubbs, and talk about the difficulties they leave behind in 2025 and the challenges that lie ahead. So more money in the budget in terms of numbers, but it's going to cost you more to actually get the work done. Is this enough to make a difference for you, or are you concerned that you might next year still be in the same position, looking at a deficit? Would you have liked a bigger bump?
Yeah, you know, you ask most police chiefs, and there's always a need for more. And there's no doubt here in Ottawa, we have a lot of demands on the Ottawa Police Service. Such a growing, sprawled out community, capital of Canada, with so many major events and demonstrations. There's a lot on the police service right now, and you know, the budget that we've put forward, we're certainly pleased that we'll be able to deliver on a number of our key initiatives, and also, you know, pay for a collective bargaining agreement that got signed this year as well too. So there's increases in salaries. But there's no doubt that our budget will be strained. There'll be a lot of stress under it in 2026. It's up to us to try to manage that as best we can.
As we look at the Byward market, for example, we're here in the Byward market. Let's talk about it. And of course, we've talked about it all year. You know, there's talk about more of a presence of police officers getting to know this neighborhood, and the policing hub going in at Rideau Centre that a lot of people thought would make a difference. And yet here we are in December and have been talking about private security and the city funding some of that to try to make people feel like they are safe down in the market. Is this a situation where if you could just throw more money, more officers at it, you could actually clean up the market once and for all?
Well, you know, well, first of all, I'll talk about the private security. Like, obviously, the more that we have down here to assist with safety, be it social agencies, outreach workers, ambassadors, private security, police, the help of businesses and the residents, we'll be better for it. It'll be a safer community. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, more officers will help. We're actually, on December 15th, we're assigning 14 additional police officers will be assigned to our neighborhood resource teams in the downtown core. That's not just the Byward market, that'll be into Centertown as well too, to help with that proactive policing.
Where a lot of the problem has shifted from the market into Centertown.
Some of it has shifted. There is a lot of new people in town as well, Patricia, in the vulnerable population that have come from other communities. And that's contributed to the issues in Centertown as well too. But we're going to have more presence here over the Christmas season, and we're also going to layer and build that up as the snow goes away and spring comes. We're going to have more resources coming into the market as well too. You know, sort of your words, and I know you mean that in a way of cleaning up the Byward market. Obviously, there is a lane for us, and we see that. We had a board meeting in December that people spoke a lot of not feeling safe in Sandy Hill and Lower Town. We want them to feel safe, and there's certain people there that are contributing to that, and that enforcement, you're going to see that increasing as well.
Okay, what would you say is the #1 challenge for your service this past year, or going forward?
Going forward, you know, I think it is keeping up with the demands of the city, not just in the downtown core. It's a lot of focus. But we have a lot of asks for us from, you know, Barhaven and Canada, Orleans, some of the smaller rural communities. Everything from they want more presence. You know, we have some auto theft issues. The fraud and the cyber crime is a really intense piece of our industry that's really increasing, and us having investigators that can really manage those, that's a problem as well. Traffic complaints are always something that every ward reports in. They want to see us more. So really it's delivering on all those all those areas that they want us out in the community on. And that's where, and maybe you're asking about that next, but our district model of policing is what we're moving to, and it's going to take another year for us to fully implement it. That is what we want to do, is make sure that we're listening to the people in specific neighborhoods, not just regions like Canada or Orleans, in neighborhoods. What do they need, and how can we tailor our response with our finite resources to help them out?
Yeah, well, I do want to ask about that. It's going back to a model that is similar to what we've seen before. Right. Does it just put the officers closer to the people in those communities? What is the main advantage of this new system?
Well, the main advantage is structuring the way we deliver the policing so we're not just reactive. Because right now, in the last 5 to 7, 8 years, we've been very reactive, responding to calls. There's a bit of a queue there. We're structuring ourselves so we can be more proactive. Go after prolific offenders that are really causing a lot of our issues. Do that traffic enforcement. Interact with the community, getting to know them. We need time to do that. If members are going from call to call, that doesn't work.
Well, after the break, we'll have more from our year-end review with Chief Stubbs, including how officers replace photo radar when it comes to traffic calming and what the addition of body cameras means for policing here in Ottawa.
Tonight, heavy snow, slippery ice, and dangerously high winds.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Tracking the destructive blast of winter that's left tens of thousands in the dark. Later on CTV National News and Watch on Crave.
We want to return now to our year-end interview with Ottawa Police Chief Eric Stubbs, focusing on some new tools to help them get the job done next year. You lost photo radar, so the challenge that presents as you're talking about resources and officers, but then you gain body cameras as well for officers. What is the biggest? Is it an advantage to have the body cameras? Is it a way for officers to be more accountable? How do you see it?
You know, the body-worn cameras have a lot of different functions for us. One, they do collect best evidence. When we arrive on a scene, sometimes we're talking to people, they tell us things, we see things. That's a very good thing as well, too. But on the accountability and transparency side, you know, it's both ways, too. You know, it's accountability for our officers, but also for the public as well, too. There are some studies that show that the public behaves better when we have the cameras. The officers are more accountable as well, too. So really, you know, that transparency on what we do is better told through the body-worn cameras. So we're looking forward to it. The technology with some of these cameras, with the cameras we have, it's incredible. We have translation services through our camera where they will talk to somebody. If you're speaking a language I don't know, it'll translate what you're trying to tell me and vice versa to you. So it's fantastic.
I think a lot of members of the public can immediately see what the advantages of those cameras might be. Not always seeing the advantages of a mounted police unit.
Right.
Why do we need something like that?
Well, you know what? And I see that you have them on the. They're fantastic, these horses. But look, we're the capital of Canada, and we have a lot of major events and a lot of demonstrations. And I can think in my 3 years the number of times we could have deployed this unit to greatly assist us in trying to manage these things. These are Clydesdales, they're big horses. If we need to separate opposing groups, counter protests, and create a wedge between these two groups, this is the best way to do it. If people need to be moved off a road very slowly but safely, these horses are fantastic at doing that. They'll also be around for, you know, community policing events, also for proactive patrols. As a matter of fact, yesterday they were out on the road with our traffic unit catching distracted drivers.
Okay, and distracted by the horses.
Maybe distracted by the but it's a real advantage for us. It's something the capital of Canada as a police service we really needed. I think there's 9 units across Canada and other cities, and there's certainly a need here. And the province was good enough to fund that for us, which is even better news for the taxpayers here in Ottawa.
All right, Chief Eric Stubbs, thank you very much. We look forward to talking to you again in 2026.
Looking forward to it.
Truly a legend that will always have an impact in everybody's heart.
Well, tributes continue to pour in for Tyson Lefebvre, the community advocate who helped raise $1 million for Make-A-Wish in Eastern Ontario. That story and more coming up after the break.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
In tonight's big picture, a German town was transformed into a terrifying fantasy land for an old tradition. Check this out. People dress up as devils, witches, and other mythical beings to ward off evil spirits and winter. The celebration marks Tough Night, the 12 days between Christmas and the Christian feast day, Epiphany. Now, some other stories you need to know right now. Members of the Ottawa community mourning the loss of a community advocate and fundraiser, Tyson Lefebvre.
I want to thank you all for helping me out and support and making Ottawa a better place to live.
Tyson, known for his work raising $1 million for Make-A-Wish, passed away on Christmas Day. His family says a community-wide celebration of life will be held for Tyson in the coming weeks and is asking the public to consider donating to one of his favorite causes, Make-A-Wish Canada, Canadian Guide Dogs for the Blind, or the Capital City Condors. Well, the new year will bring new rules to protect people from deadly carbon monoxide leaks. Starting on January 1st, carbon monoxide alarms will be mandatory on every floor of a home under the Ontario Fire Code. The alarms must be outside every bedroom, but will also be required on floors without bedrooms. In multi-unit residential buildings, there must be alarms in every suite and in the hallways. New data by Stats Canada suggests coffee drinkers across the country might be dishing out more money to make a fresh cup of joe. The numbers show Canadian shoppers paid almost 28% more for coffee at grocery stores in November compared to last year. Experts say the blame could go to things like climate change, crop diseases, and even drought.
Finances football in the entire world. Without FIFA, there would be no football in 150 countries in the world.
FIFA is defending the cost of ticket prices for the upcoming World Cup. The president says the high prices are a reflection of the demand by fans to watch the games, adding that 6 to 7 million tickets are on sale compared to the 150 million requests for tickets from fans right across the world. Fan groups have slammed ticket prices, which have been more costly at times compared to the 2022 World Cup.
We want to say thank you so much to our community. Thank you to our teams, to our supporters, to our doctors, for helping us meet this incredible adoption goal this holiday season.
The Ontario SPCA is celebrating a major milestone. The organization says it met its Home for the Holidays adoption campaign goal, helping more than 500 animals find homes across the province. The campaign focused on finding families for animals of all ages, including senior pets. The SPCA says 688 animals were placed in new homes, but it is still encouraging those looking for a pet to consider adoption.
Tools like AI, search, and social media, they tend to give us the answers that we want to hear.
Up next, concerns about online advice regarding babies and sleep. Some of the tips and tricks being offered to new parents can actually put kids at risk. CTV's Pat Boren has the details when we come back.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Well, don't worry, this is just a test. You are not waking up from a long winter's nap, missing the actual countdown to 2026. But in just a few days, millions of eyes from around the world will be on New York, and party organizers at Times Square tossed confetti into the air in a few enthusiastic trial runs. More than 3,000 tons of confetti will be dumped onto about 1 million people attending the famous Times Square New Year's Eve ball drop. If you've ever stayed up all night with a baby trying to do anything to get them to sleep, you know there is a wealth of tips and tricks online offering sleep advice for new parents. But experts warn you can't trust everything you read on social media. CTV's Pat Boren has more.
Shayna Raphael's journey to become a sleep safety advocate began with a tragedy.
Claire's death absolutely was preventable.
Her daughter Claire died at daycare, sleeping on a soft mattress meant for adults.
Had she been in a safe sleep environment, had she been in the crib that we thought she was sleeping in, she would be here today.
Shayna set up a nonprofit in her daughter's name, the Claire Bear Foundation. She posts safety tips and answers questions on Instagram and TikTok. But not everyone on social media has safety as their top priority. Recent studies found more than 9 out of 10 infant sleep images shared on Instagram were unsafe based on long-established scientific safe sleep guidelines. This includes babies sleeping on their stomachs or with pillows, blankets, or stuffed animals.
Sometimes we have people giving information that is in direct contrast to what those specialists and experts are saying.
And Consumer Reports says it's not just influencers sharing unsafe sleep information. Some online retailers are sending mixed messages as well.
You might see a listing online for a baby lounger that says in the description, this is not safe for infant sleep. But next to that, you'll see a product photo with a sleeping baby in it. So which one of those is a sleep-deprived parent going to remember?
Another source of misinformation, AI chat programs sometimes recommend sleep solutions that have been linked to an increased risk of infant mortality.
Online tools like AI, search, and social media, they tend to give us the answers that we want to hear. And those might be different than what the evidence shows is actually safe.
Following safe sleep practices every night and for every nap can help keep your infant safe and prevent the risk of sleep-related deaths. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, more turmoil within Lululemon to end the year as Lululemon founder Chip Wilson pushes for a board shakeup. BNN's Lindsay Biscaya has more.
It's the latest push by Lululemon founder and the company's biggest shareholder, Chip Wilson. Wilson has nominated 3 director candidates to the company's board and says he believes shareholders won't trust any CEO that's picked by the current board. This comes after Calvin McDonald, the outgoing CEO, announced he would be stepping down in the new year. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar dropped to $73.04. West Texas Intermediate is up to $57.82. Western Canadian Select is unchanged at $44.94. And the TSX lost 103 points today, closing just under 32,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Well, still to come, we'll tell you how pandas are shedding some pounds in China for the new year. Plus, we'll take one more look at the forecast. But first, we want to take one more look outside through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is -1 out there right now. Windy. The wind will continue through the evening and overnight hours as the temperature drops. We have flurries on the way for you for tomorrow. We'll remind you of all of that again and how it's looking into the new year after the break.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, a new rock climbing spot just opened up in Ottawa, and Rosie stopped by to learn the ropes. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa, all starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we are following right now. Oh, this was no fun this morning as freezing rain made driving and walking tricky throughout the Ottawa region today, and we do have more winter weather on the way before the new year.
We're planning to fly to Los Angeles for the break, and both our flights have been delayed.
And the winter weather is delaying holiday travel as well. Some flights, trains were canceled. The start of tonight's Sens game also delayed as the Blue Jackets got into town late this afternoon.
We are better than USA and Canada.
And celebrating 25 years of the Bell Capital Cup, hundreds of youth hockey players from across the world hitting rinks in Ottawa today from Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Japan. Want to take a final look at this forecast. We are anticipating some wind this evening. We're under a special weather statement with some flurries, and the temperature will plunge. You'll wake up to -14 with that chance of flurries continuing throughout the day, and it will be windy as well. Those cold temperatures right into the new year. -10 tomorrow, -11 on Wednesday. Your New Year's Eve, -13 for New Year's Day, and very, very cold overnight on January 1st. It's true what they say about January. And it is almost the new year, and many people are gearing up to get back into shape, making those resolutions, including these pandas, motivated by carrots, which are used to get the pandas to stand and stretch. The pandas at the Kunming Giant Panda Research Center in northwest China, busy doing their winter physical training. The pandas train for about 5 to 10 minutes twice a day in an effort to build up their strength. I think 5 to 10 minutes, even once a day, might be more than a lot of us have been doing over these holidays. A lot of people spending a lot of time on their couch over the last few days, which is absolutely okay. But it'll be busy in the gyms in January, no doubt. That is our CTV News for this Monday, December 29th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And Kimberly Fowler will be here at 11:30 tonight.